Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're going to talk about the World Economic Forum and the Great Reset. This was a video I was working on over the weekend, but I never got it out. So I think all World Economic Forum members should be in the trials, Musk included. FDA approves first human trials for Elon Musk's brain chip company, Neuralink. And this is kind of scary that the FDA approved this. So Neuralink has been a passion project for Musk since its founding in 2016. The tech mogul has stated in the past that the connection of the human brain to a computer holds promise for a broad range of applications, from restoring disabled patients' eyesight and motor function to mentally controlling electronic devices. He also touts the project as a safeguard against artificial intelligence eventually becoming much smarter than humans and controlling society. Only by merging with AI, Musk claims, will humans develop the capacity to stay ahead and protect themselves from it. Take notice, it'll help you protect yourself from AI in the future. Now, let's go back to disabled patients and eyesight. I think that would be great if that's what it was intended for. In other words, if that was its actual use case. But this ties in with the World Economic Forum. In 2008, Elon Musk was a World Economic Forum young global leader. In 2016, he founded Neuralink, whose goal is to connect the human brain to a computer. In 2017, he was determined to start testing brain implants in humans. But then you see, Klaus Schwab brags, World Economic Forum can fact-check your subconscious by hacking you. So mind control for the masses, in which even our dreams are controlled and manipulated, with or without our consent, is the future for humanity according to the global elite. So say, for instance, you think one way. When you fall asleep, maybe they could hack into you and rewire you, make you believe what they want you to believe. That's what's really scary about this technology. And now that the FDA approved Neuralink, how long is it going to be before the FDA approves the chip under your skin? Well, a Danish firm called BiChip launched a microchip implant, which means it can use Ripple. This means you'll be able to store your virtual cash stash under your skin by getting a chip installed in your hand. Now, that was back in 2020, and everything back then was still kind of conspiracy theory, and nobody ever wanted to believe it was even going to see the light of day. But look at Neuralink now has FDA approval. But if you're using cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin or Ripple, you can now store them in a place where you'll never misplace your cash. Then it talks about Ripple being tied directly into this. So a lot of people along the way thought this is the mark of the beast. I'm not quite sold on that idea yet, but I think it's a precursor to what's to come. Now, as far as Neuralink, I think anybody who has to have the latest and greatest iPhone will definitely get that put in them, because you know how some people are with technology. If it's new, they have to have it. But how safe is Neuralink going to actually be? And then if you listen to this guy, he talks about hacking humans. Take a listen.
I think that the big process that's happening right now in the world is hacking human beings, the ability to hack humans, to understand deeply what's happening within you, what makes you go. And for that, the most important data is not what you read and who you meet and what you buy, it's what's happening inside your body. So we had these two big revolutions, the computer science revolution, or the infotech revolution, and the revolution in the biological sciences. And they are still separate, but they are about to merge. They are merging around, I would say, the biometric sensor. It's the thing, it's the gadget, it's the technology that converts biological data into digital data that can be analyzed by computers. And having the ability to really monitor people under the skin, this is the biggest game changer of all. Because this is the key for getting to know people better than they know themselves. I often
Why does it have to be under the skin? That's the part that always gets to me. Why can't they just give you a card in the future that tracks whatever they want to be tracking? Most likely your carbon footprint. But, they have to have it under the skin. That's the part I really don't understand. Are you ready for this, New Yorkers? New York City will begin tracking the carbon footprint of household food consumption and putting caps on how much red meat can be served. But how would they track that? Well, that's why blockchain is so important to the World Economic Forum. That's why they want to put the chip in you so they could track everything that you're doing. Blockchain and other emerging technologies can be used to enhance carbon emission tracking and raise awareness on carbon emission levels so that businesses can reduce their overall carbon footprint. Now, initially, it will be in businesses. Later, it'll be everyone, because it all leads to the same agenda that the World Economic Forum is pushing for, the Great Reset. Once they can track your carbon, they can tax you on it through carbon credits and carbon offsets. Then there's this. Now, this is kind of scary because this made the news. Take a listen.
Homeland Security is warning of a potential troubling escalation in tactics from right-wing extremists. Catherine Herridge.
Now, take notice. It's coming from the Department of Homeland Security, and it's very important that you see that, because what I'm going to show you after this video is exactly goes hand in hand. So let's continue.
Has more on this, and she joins us from Washington. Catherine, we understand the power grid could be a target?
Good morning. According to the intelligence report obtained by CBS News, these groups have developed credible and specific plans to attack the power grid since at least 2020 as a way to disrupt the country and the ability of government to operate. The report warns extremists adhering to a range of ideologies will likely continue to plot and encourage physical attacks against power networks, which include more than 6,400 plants and nearly 500,000 miles of high voltage lines. While the bulletin emphasized small-scale attacks are unlikely to cause widespread power loss, it may cause disruption to critical infrastructure like hospitals and police departments. Homeland Security noted several indicators, including online chatter. While the report does not suggest an imminent threat, the Homeland Security Secretary has warned lone wolf actors and small bands of extremists are among the greatest domestic threat because they are hard to detect, disrupt, and can mobilize quickly.
So they're blaming it on right-wing extremists. But why don't they blame it right here, where the blame belongs?
Pay insufficient attention to the frightening
Take notice, Department of Homeland Security.
scenario of a comprehensive cyber attack, which would bring to a complete halt to the power supply, transportation, hospital services, our society as a whole. The COVID-19 crisis would be seen in this respect as a small disturbance in comparison to a major cyber attack.
So you see exactly what they're planning for the future. That same cyber attack is the same cyber attack that people talked about in the XRP community for quite a while now. It's the black swan event. Once everything goes down, once it comes back up and running, we will be on the new financial system. XRP would then be skyrocketing in price. But that was what the first video I showed you was just one news outlet. That actually made it around quite a few news outlets around the power grid. U.S. representative unveils bill to block CBDC pilot program. Now, a lot of people always said, CBDCs are definitely going to happen, but it looks like a lot of states in the U.S. are fighting back. A growing number of Republican lawmakers are calling to block a central bank digital currency from being issued in the United States. In the latest development, Representative Alex Mooney of West Virginia has introduced the Digital Dollar Pilot Prevention Act, which aims to prevent the Federal Reserve from launching a pilot program to test. And he's not alone. Status of anti-CBDC legislation in the states. Florida removes CBDC from the definition of money under UCC. Passed. Awaiting governor's signature. Similar bills pending in South Carolina, Ohio, and reviewing ones in Indiana and Arizona. New Hampshire. Bill to ban a CBDC as legal tender. Pending for 2024. Arkansas. Law to restrict CBDC purchase and location tracking without a warrant. North Carolina. Bill to ban the state from participating in a CBDC trial and ban the state itself from accepting CBDC as payment. Passed House. Aware of others, let us know. And you know, that's exactly what's going on right now. The states are fighting back. They don't want to put up with the Fed's nonsense. This whole Fed now idea, I think they're going to roll it out and it's going to become a huge failure. But then an emergency situation could happen where they bring about a full-on CBDC per Executive Order 14067. Then there's this. So farmers must stop growing food to meet net zero goals for emissions. This is getting out of hand. What the climate change agenda is nothing but another way for them to enrich themselves and make us pay for it. So Kerry warned attendees that his and other world leaders' lives depend on farmers ceasing their operations. Stopping farmers from growing food will lower agriculture emissions, Kerry insists. He continued by noting that he does not even call it climate change anymore. It's not change, it's a crisis. He's absolutely ridiculous. And you know, they're playing with the food supply at the same time, creating food shortages. Anybody out there that's still not awake to what's really going on around them needs to wake up. You know when people in the United States will start to fight back? When they go to the grocery store and there's no food there. And you know, or when they get handed their digital wallet and their digital ID. And all of a sudden, they're being tracked on all of their transactions. That's when they'll start to realize where this is all heading. But I make videos to try to keep you aware of it. You know, Neuralink getting that FDA approval is kind of scary. And I think it's going to lead to something much, much darker. And, you know, AI is not going to stop either. They're going to use that also to push things like Neuralink, push the chip into your hand. Because this way they're going to say, how would you ever be able to survive in an AI world without becoming one with the machine? But that's my opinion on it. Let me know what you think. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.